WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook Messenger may all be joining up into one. According to reports, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg wants to combine the services to allow users to communicate more easily, but you have to wonder how that will go over with users of those services. And our own Dan Howley is here to discuss. Hey, Howley.
Hey, what's happening?
So what does this mean? I mean, my first thought was, well, what if one of these three things you don't use, and you have specifically made a point not to use? Like, you know, I don't touch Facebook, but I like my WhatsApp. Well, now are you going to have to be a user of all three? Are they going to combine them into one app on your phone?
No. So basically what it means is if you don't want to use Facebook, you don't have to use Facebook. But people who are on Facebook, Messenger specifically, would be able to send you a message if you're on WhatsApp or Instagram. So you don't necessarily have to have the other apps. They'll just be able to communicate across. And so they're unifying their back-end messaging structure. Right now there's three different, they're siloed in three different pieces. Then they're just going to break down the walls and kind of put them all together so that it's one single messaging offering.
So couldn't someone say, what's the point then of having them be separate things?
Yeah.
If someone on Facebook can message me on WhatsApp via Facebook Messenger, why have WhatsApp then?
You don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's interesting because it all kind of feeds into Facebook's own advertising backend as well. So it's really, you know, they're kind of breaking down all the walls between the three apps, and this is probably
so what I hadn't thought about until you were talking is like, doesn't this mean someone like Dan, who doesn't want to use Facebook, but say he's fine using Instagram, then starts getting incoming on his Instagram from someone who only has Facebook Messenger? Wouldn't it then prompt him to say, well, the whole thing is dangerous and swampified now. I'm leaving all of the apps.
Exactly right. And just quickly, it reminds me of something that happened recently. I got a new phone, and I copied something text on my computer, and then later I hit paste in a text on my phone, and it was the thing I copied on my computer. Don't like that at all. And I had that turned off previously, but then when I got a new phone, I guess it reactivated. Don't like that.
Yeah, that's part of iCloud where you can the handoff feature.
Well, but it's the same kind of thing. Facebook just wants it all one realm.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because, you know, people were talking about potential antitrust issues, but I think that's just, you know, it doesn't really apply, because if you were going to say that Facebook now has antitrust issues,
than it did before.
Yeah, then I mean, because this is basically just the back end of the system. It has nothing really to do with us outside of being able to get messages back and forth. I think one of the benefits to this is that now all communication on Facebook between messages will be encrypted end to end, where previously it wasn't.
That's
WhatsApp
the Ethan Wolf-Mann angle too.
Yeah. It's, I mean,
I have to say though, for me, it almost seems like it's because all the executives left.
Yeah, well, so
like Instagram doesn't have their founders or any exec team anymore. WhatsApp, the founders are gone.
Yeah.
And I understand there was some rejiggering of groups and whatever, but doesn't this feel like it's just more, okay, we need all of these things to be governed by one team because it's too many things that we don't have the manpower for?
It feels like this was the reason why they left. Like they were planning on doing this, then they announced it. But obviously they were working on it. Yeah, they were working on this for months prior, probably, so that the executives were probably, you know, well, I don't want to be a part of Facebook Messenger. You know, I mean, I don't like Facebook Messenger. Right. It also means that, you know, I mean, obviously everything feeds into Facebook's advertising now, but your messages also can be used in Facebook messaging, right? Like if you go back and forth with a bot or something along those lines. So it raises the question, well, will my messages be able to be used in Facebook advertising with WhatsApp and Instagram?
Yes.
Yeah. So
if there was any doubt about that.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think that this is a move that is beneficial to users in the long run, because it makes it so that you can communicate with people across different apps without necessarily having to use those apps. But at the same time, it also raises issues with regards to privacy, because Facebook isn't really known for holding onto your data very well.
No, it is.
And, you know,
that's the thing. It's like I can understand if they can read more text and they can have better answers for bots and it improves that experience. But I do feel like collectively we've all decided the experience is good enough.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm good with what we have right now. The fact that you don't hold on to any of my information and I'm constantly being hacked is much more of a concern.
Yeah. I think the only app out of Facebook's trio of apps is Empire. Is Instagram. That's the only one that I use, and but I act like I'm not connected with Facebook, and yet I use Instagram every 5 seconds.
Wait till they ruin that.
Yeah.
And as I love to say,
everyone says they already have.
I think a lot of users of Instagram or WhatsApp still don't realize that they're owned by Facebook.
Yeah.
They still don't know.
Not at all. No.
All right, Howley, good stuff. Thanks.